Good morning, my dear students. It's been pretty long, and I hope all of you are doing good. We are welcome to phase 2 of our e-learning, that's learning using internet facilities and so on, distant learning. So today we will focus on some particular things that we have seen before. And before we actually go to our lesson proper, in the last class we were talking about angles. I already gave a brief definition of angles and how we can obtain it and the different types of angles. We talked of acute angles, we talked of complementary angles, we talked of supplementary angles, we talked of right angles, and so on. So today, before we start our lesson, normally we are doing this video and you will not have the same video to talk with me directly online. If not, I would have started by asking you questions, but with this I'm going to go straight to the point. So we start with the definition of our particular angles. Acute. Talk of acute angles. Okay, an angle is acute if what happens if it lies between 0 degrees and 90 degrees. Thus an angle is acute if it's greater than 0 or less than 90 degrees. Then the next one we're talking of is the obtuse angle. The obtuse angle is an angle that is greater than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. These ones are very, very important. Once we have these definitions, we can now progress to our lesson. And the third one now, which is also important, is the right angle. We said once an angle is 90 degrees, it's called a right angle. Okay. So now, looking at it, if we have the brief definition of these particular angles, we are going to use them now to come up with basic concept of our lesson. And we will start by asking you a very simple question. Can you identify any polygon? You know any polygon? Do you know of any polygon? Okay, since you are not there with me, I'm just going to leave a message. I have polygons like triangles, rectangles, and so on and so forth. Squares, kites, and so on. All of them form polygons. But our lesson of today is based on triangles. Now, what is a triangle? That is the question. A triangle is any polygon with 3 sides. So we have a polygon that has only 3 sides, it is a triangle. If we are talking of 4-sided figure like the square, the rectangles, those are not triangles. They have their different names. If you look at the sides, they have 4 sides. This is what I have. Okay, this is a rectangle. I have another figure here, a square. If we're in a normal classroom setup, I'll just draw the figures and ask you to identify them. But now that we are not in a classroom setup, just follow what I'm giving you. So with my triangle, I'll have this shape. It has 3 sides. This is what we call a triangle. It has 3 sides. Alright. With respect to that, we'll now be talking at the different types of triangle. I've given you the definitions. A triangle is any polygon with 3 sides. And it has some particular angles depending on the type of triangle we are dealing with. We'll go to the types, you will see. The different types of triangles include 1. Acute angle triangle. Recall, we talk of acute angles. Greater than 0 but less than 90. Now, acute angle triangles is a triangle in which each of the angles inside is less than 90 degrees. It's less than 90 but greater than 0. So I can draw a triangle like this that has different angles. These are the angles inside. If you were having your math set there, I would have asked to measure, but since your math sets are not there, we are going to state the angles directly. So I have the different angles, and these angles will have different values. For example, I can have 65 degrees here. I can have 55 degrees and 60 degrees. If you look at it, you can discover that these angles are less than 90 but greater than 180. But greater than 180. So now, if we have this situation, we will now first of all sum the angles and see if it gives 180. If it gives 180, then we are talking about angles in a triangle. Recall, angles in a triangle must sum up to 180. But if each of the angles in here is greater than 0 degrees but less than 90, then it is an acute angle triangle. That's the first definition. Then I'll go to the second definition, which is the right angle triangle. With the right angle triangle, it's just a triangle in which one of the angle is 90 degrees. And we know the shape. We talk of right angle triangle, we have something like this with the right angle there. So that gives the right angle triangle. So we have this symbol here signifies the right angle triangle. So I can say the triangle A, B, C, and since this is right angle, we call that a right angle triangle. Then next, we will go to an obtuse triangle, and an obtuse angle triangle is one in which one of the angles is greater than 90 degrees. One of the angles, so long as one of the angles is greater than 90 degrees, it forms an obtuse. If you have something like this is my stuff. I have this. Sorry for doing this in a on a small piece of paper. I'm just doing this. You'll see it in your notes. ABC. We score this angle here is only more than 90 degrees. So I can call this angle maybe 110, and then this one can be maybe 30 degrees, and this is 40 degrees. So it's called, so long as one of the angles here is more than 90 degrees, it now forms what we call the obtuse angle triangle. Alright, with all the little information I've given you about triangles and the different types, I'll give you the first 3 types. I want you to take down your lessons. You take down notes. I'll give you maybe 2 to 3 minutes to take down notes while I put the other types of triangles on the board. So here are the notes for what we have just done now. Okay, I gave you some couple of minutes to look at our notes. So you are going to take this down. We start from the definition. We say any polygon with 3 sides is called a triangle. And triangles are divided into 3 categories based on what? The angles and the lengths of their sides. So we take the first triangle. That's an example of a triangle. It's got here have 60 degrees, 60 degrees, 60 degrees. This will have 2 centimeters each. That is a triangle. Then now the next part is talking about the types of triangle. And the types of triangle will include the first one is the acute angle triangle. So we have the definition for acute angle and an example. Then we'll take the next, which is the right angle triangle. You have the definition for it with the structure, the way it looks like. That's a diagram. And that the next type now will be the obtuse angle triangle. And with the obtuse angle, we should be very careful here. We know that obtuse means greater than 90 degrees but less than 180. So we are going to define the triangle based on the definition. It is already there in your notebook. I've given the definition of obtuse triangle, I've given the definition of acute triangles, I've given the definition of right angle triangles. Now we will be moving to the other part of the board where we have the next type, and that is a scalene triangle. So the scalene triangle is a triangle in which none of the sides are the same. So with scalene now we are defining based on the sides of the triangle. If the sides are not the same, then it is scalene. Look at what I have on the board. Here we have a single stroke and the dimension is 2 centimeters. This way we have 2 strokes and the dimension is 3 centimeters. This way we have 3 strokes and the dimension is 4 centimeters. We discover that the different sides of the triangle are having different dimensions. They have different lengths. When I talk of dimension, I'm referring to the lengths. The lengths are different. So when the lengths are different, we'll now refer to that type of a triangle as a scalene triangle. So the next type of triangle, which we'll be looking at again, is the isosceles triangle. Isosceles here means 2 sides are equal. So any triangle that has 2 equal sides is called an isosceles triangle. And the example of an isosceles triangle is the triangle I have on the board here. If you look at it very well, you discover that the sides of the triangle are given to me here. You have the length. This way AB has length 2 centimeters. BC has length 2 centimeters. You see that 2 and 2 they are equal. But down this way I have 1.5 centimeters, which is different. So you see it's a triangle with 3 sides, but 2 sides are the same and the other one is different. So whenever a triangle has 2 equal sides and a different side comes in, it is an isosceles triangle. And lastly, we will be looking at the last type of triangle, which is an equilateral triangle. Equilateral triangle is a triangle in which all the sides are equal. All the sides have the same length. The dimensions are the same. You have the triangle on the board as I've demonstrated. We score that the side here is 2 centimeters, this way 2 centimeters, this way 2 centimeters. You have 2 strokes here, 2 strokes here, 2 strokes here, showing that the sides are all the same. And if the sides are the same, the angles will also be the same. In that case, we can conclude that that forms what we call an equilateral triangle. So now we will go to our activity. That's what I expect you to do. The first activity requires you to do what? draw a triangle with sides AB 3 centimeters, BC 5 centimeters, and CA 3 centimeters. When you have drawn that, the next question is, what is the name of the triangle above? The triangle above is a triangle you just drew. So you are given the name to that particular triangle you drew. Once that is done, you can now conclude. Are we there? Then I'll take the second activity. The second activity requires us to do what? To draw a triangle with angles. Now, 35 degrees, 45 degrees, 110. Here you're just going to give a rough estimate, because I know you are not having your mathematical set of instruments with you. Normally your math sets are with me in school, and since we are quarantined, we just need to estimate, right? We are not doing direct measurements. So at this point, you just estimate the angles. One can be 35, the other one can be 45, and the last one should be 100 degrees. You know the sizes. 100 is bigger than 45, and 45 is bigger than 35 degrees. And the next question is to state the type of triangle drawn above and give a reason for your answer. So when you give a particular name to the triangle drawn, you should explain why it is like that. Recall initially I gave you the definition of the different types of triangles. So I expect you to come out with your results and you give reasons for your results, so that at least we know that you have a mastery of the lesson. So our next encounter now, I'll be expecting the result of what I have given you as activity. You will draw the triangles with respect to the questions and you answer the other parts that follows. Alright, that notwithstanding, it has been a great pleasure meeting you guys online. I'm so happy that everybody's alive, being healthy and hearty, and I pray that may the Almighty God continue to keep you alive for me, so that we continue to have our lessons. And that notwithstanding, very soon we shall go back to the classroom. But each and every one of you should stay home. Make sure you keep good hygienic conditions, so that in the near future we can go back to our classrooms and continue our lesson. Stay blessed. Thank you and have a nice day.